Look at these adorable kittens. They're so cute, aren't they? It's hard to believe that just a few months ago they were tiny little balls of fluff, but now look how big they are. Just like these kittens, we grow bigger every day, not only physically, but mentally too. We learn new things every day, but learning isn't always easy. Sometimes it's really hard. It's hard when you don't know how to ride a bike without training wheels. It is hard when you have to read a book with lots of big words in it for school. And it is hard when you have never played the piano before and your fingers just don't seem to cooperate. Do you ever feel like giving up when things get tough? In today's story, we'll meet a young boy who learned what it meant to never give up. Once upon a time, there was a boy who lived in a small village. The boy's name was Arlo, and he loved to go fishing with his grandpappy. Every Saturday morning, Arlo would wake up early, eat some oatmeal for breakfast, then grab his fishing rod and hurry outside to see if his grandpappy was ready. Usually, he was sitting in a rocking chair on the porch, humming a tune, impatiently waiting for Arlo. "Are you ready, son?" his grandpappy would ask, his eyes twinkling with joy. "Ready as I'll ever be," Arlo would reply, grinning from ear to ear. Then off they'd go, walking side by side along the riverbank toward their favorite fishing spot. One Saturday morning, Arlo was so excited because he thought he finally had everything he needed to catch a fish all by himself. He had baited his hook, cast out his line, and even brought along a snack for lunch. But when it was time to reel in his catch, he struggled to pull the line out of the water. "Grandpappy, come help me," he yelled. But his grandpappy was already far away, sitting on a log, enjoying the sunshine. Arlo tried again to pull in the line, but the more he pulled, the further the line sank into the water. It seemed impossible to get it back up. Frustrated, he flopped down onto the ground beside the river and kicked at a rock. "Why won't this stupid fishing line come up?" he asked himself. He felt tears stinging his eyes, but he blinked them away. He didn't want his grandpappy to think he was a baby. Taking a deep breath, he decided he would try one more time to pull the line out of the water. But after that, he was going home. With all his might, Arlo tugged on the fishing rod, and this time he could feel the line moving closer and closer to the surface. Suddenly, he saw a flash of silver in the water. It was the most beautiful fish he had ever seen. It shimmered in the sunlight, its scales sparkling like 1,000 tiny mirrors. "I got you," Arlo whispered, his heart pounding with excitement. Slowly but surely, he reeled in his catch. Finally, the fish was close enough for him to reach out and grab. Holding the slippery fish in his hands, he jumped up and down with joy. "I did it," he shouted. "I caught a fish all by myself." He raced home as fast as his legs could carry him, eager to show his grandpappy what he had done. But when he reached the house, he found that his grandpappy was nowhere to be seen. Disappointed, Arlo flopped onto the porch steps and stared at the ground. "All by myself," he mumbled. Then he looked down at his prize and realized he didn't have anything to do with it. Throwing it back into the river seemed like a waste. After all, he had worked so hard to catch it. That's when he had an idea. Maybe he could cook the fish and take it to his grandpappy as a surprise dinner. Carefully, he put the fish in a basket and headed back to his grandpappy's log. There he took out his pocket knife and began cleaning the fish. When he was done, he wrapped it in a blanket and carried it to a nearby farmhouse. Maybe the farmer would let him use her stove and oven, he thought. But when he knocked on the door, an unfriendly face peered out at him. "What do you want?" she asked. I was wondering if I could use your kitchen," Arlo replied. "I caught this fish and I want to cook it for my grandpappy." The woman looked at the fish and then at Arlo. "I'm sorry, but I'm very busy right now," she said. "Maybe next time." With that, she slammed the door in his face. Discouraged, Arlo walked along the riverbank, kicking at stones. All he wanted to do was make his grandpappy happy. But it seemed like everyone was just making fun of him. Suddenly, he heard a friendly voice say, "Hello there." Startled, Arlo turned around to see an old woman smiling at him. "What are you doing all by yourself, dearie?" she asked. Arlo sniffled. "I want to cook this fish for my grandpappy, but nobody will let me use their kitchen," he said. The old woman's face lit up. "Why don't you use mine?" she said. "I live just down the road. Come on." And with that, she led him to a cozy cottage with a chimney that puffed out wisps of smoke. When Arlo's grandpappy saw the delicious dinner his grandson had made, he was filled with pride. "You did all this by yourself," he said, his voice filled with wonder. Arlo nodded, his cheeks flushed with happiness. "Grandpappy, I used to be scared I couldn't do it all by myself," he admitted, "but because you believed in me, I never gave up and I did it." Grandpappy smiled and squeezed his grandson's shoulder. "That's right," he said. "Sometimes we have to try new things even if they seem scary at first. And sometimes we need help from our friends and family along the way. But no matter what, we should never, ever give up." Do you remember when things got tough and you wanted to give up? Did you keep trying or did you quit? Let us know in the comments below. We're so proud of you for never giving up. You're stronger than you think. You can do it. Keep going. Well done. You're awesome. It's easy to feel discouraged when we're learning something new. Sometimes it seems like everyone else understands except us. But that's not true. Everyone has felt this way before, even you. When you start something new, your brain is like a sponge, soaking up information. At first, it can feel overwhelming, but the more you practice, the more your brain starts to understand. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn and grow. Sometimes it can be tough to do something new, like when we have to perform in front of a large audience. Being in front of a crowd can be intimidating, which makes it even harder to do something new. That's why it's important to practice and prepare ahead of time. If you practice your lines for a play over and over again, you'll be less nervous when it's time to perform. If you practice playing an instrument, you'll be able to play it confidently in front of your friends. When we practice and prepare, we build our confidence so that when we have to do something new, we're ready for it. Learning something new isn't always easy, but it can be really rewarding. When you finally understand a difficult concept, it feels great. Like when you finally learn to tie your shoes or ride your bike without training wheels, you feel accomplished and proud of yourself. Learning new things helps us grow and become better at the things we want to do. So don't be afraid to try something new. It might be tough at first, but with practice and determination, you can do it. We're so proud of you for trying something new. No matter what happens, never give up. Remember, you're stronger than you think. You can do it. Well done. You're awesome. Have you ever been afraid to do something new? What was it? How did you overcome your fear? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, you're braver than you think, you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you believe. And now it's time for a fun activity. Look at the screen and make a funny face. Say it out loud. Now draw a picture of how you're feeling. Share it with someone you love. Have fun. And don't forget, you're amazing just the way you are.